Hi, I'm Heather. I'm with the City of Saskatoon Parks Greenhouse, and we're here on Broadway beside some of our lovely flower pots. The Parks Greenhouse is responsible for growing, planning, and doing the design for all the flower pots in the city. So whether it's for the business improvement districts, or you might see some on center medians and some of our major roadways. So we do the design for Broadway, for the downtown area, Riversdale, and also for Sutherland, including a lot of things out in the parks, in the flower beds, the signs that you might see some of the designs done. So we start our process with our design that we do. October is when we start doing our designs. And we take a look at what we have grown the year before, what did well, what we've got some new and interesting plants that we want to showcase, things that go well together, things that we might want to switch up a little bit. And so our design process starts in October. We actually start with our flower pots. We have over 750 of this style that you see right here throughout the city. And so because that's the largest number that we have to deal with, that's the ones that we start with first. And we kind of work down from there and try and coordinate everything. So what you see right here right now is some of our more pastel colors, the lighter colors that we do. We also do ones that are brighter, bolder combinations, your reds, yellows, blues, so you might see some of those in the city. And we switch them back and forth year to year so that everybody gets a chance to see them no matter where they are and what flower pots they see. So the greenhouse staff is responsible for the design. We have probably about 10 to 12 of the softer combos and about 10 to 12 of the brighter, bolder combos that we do. And we do our design based on what we think looks good together, what we've had feedback from people who appreciate different things. So we start a design process in October, and then we finalize everything by November, December, and we put in our orders for our plants and for our seeds. And the seeds start arriving in January. We start growing the first of our seeds in about late February. Depending on the variety, we count back the number of weeks from when we know the flower pots and the flowers are going out. So our seeding starts about the end of February and continues on through about mid-April. We do bedding plants for the park's flower beds, and for the pots that you see here, most of them go into about a 4-inch flower pot. Our larger plants, like our grasses, will go into about a 6-inch flower pot because that's the size that the plant needs for when we plant it out. Once we do all of the growing, it's the last Sunday in May when it's a really well-coordinated effort. We bring in other staff from the Parks Division and work with them, including staff from the sports fields crew, which helps with delivering all the flower pots. So everything gets prepped in the spring. The flower pots, we give them new media, we give them a slow release fertilizer, and then the pots are ready to go out to be placed where we have them set up on the maps. The crew that puts out all the flower pots, they place them where we have them designed on the maps. And we choose the location of the flower pots based on where they will get the most visibility, whether it is the traffic driving by or pedestrians. So they tend to be located mostly at corners of intersections so that the most people can enjoy them. And so when the flower pots go out at the end of May, all of the flower pots go out for the business improvement districts on one day. And it's a very long day with a very early start. We choose Sunday because you're going to have the least amount of traffic. And I believe that the sports fields crew starts at 3 a.m., which is a very early morning for them, but it's the safest thing for them to do. And then following them, we actually have 2 planting crews. So we divide and conquer, and we have a long day, a very focused day, but we get it done. And when at the end of the day, it's complete. So then after the flower pots are planted by the planting crews, then we actually have water trucks that follow along behind us that day as well. And they make sure that all of the flowers that get watered in the bid staff that do the watering maintenance of the flower pots that are in their areas throughout the season. And so these beautiful flower pots that you see here right now have been here for about 6 weeks, and they water them twice a week to make sure that they get enough water, possibly even 3 times during this heat wave we've been having for the last month or so. At the end of the season, so usually about mid to late September, when the weather's getting cooler and the flower pots aren't looking as good anymore, that's when they get picked up by the same crew that delivered them. They get delivered back to the greenhouse area, and the flower pots get cleaned up and prepped for the next season. One question that we often get asked is, how do we make our flower pots look so good? The short answer is love. Which most gardeners know. The longer answer is, so we make sure that we choose a good soilless media. So we actually use one that has water holding crystals, because we've got such large plants, such large pots, and we don't have all the time in the world to water them, and there's a lot of them to do. So it helps with the work that's required by the staff throughout the season. They get watered a lot, twice per week, really well watered all the way through until it starts coming out the bottom a little bit. And then later in the summer or during really hot spells, they get watered 3 times per week if they can manage to find the time to do that. Something else that we do with our flower pots is, when we add our soilless mix in the spring, is we use a slow release fertilizer. It lasts for the entire season. But having said that, we do give them an extra little boost, usually about the first week of August, and they will get a water-soluble fertilizer. So that's usually the blue powder that you mix in with water. It gets mixed for our flower pots and the center medians. It gets mixed right into the 500-gallon water tank that is on our water truck, and it gets watered right in with them. So it's just an extra little boost, like an afternoon snack to give you a pickup. And other than that, it's basically a lot of water and a lot of heat. So you're seeing a lot of that going on right now. Thanks for checking out our video. I hope that you found that interesting. And if you have any more questions, you can go to our webpage on the city's website. So if you go to saskatoon.ca and type in, I think, flower pot program or greenhouse, you'll find the information. We also post our varieties of flowers each year there. So if you're interested in knowing what type of petunia is in there, we don't give away our combos. It's kind of a little secret recipe that we have, but you could kind of pick and choose from those ones. We do switch up our varieties a little bit from year to year when we find new and better performing plants, interesting colors or varieties that we would like to try out. And so that's where you will see those updates posted every spring. So when the flower pots are out, you'll be able to find out what kind of flowers are in there. And I hope you have a great day. Bye.